I don't think no one would be disbred old age 12. It was only the young children. So then I learned how to count. First lesson, the Ulu, Egg, those things, Punch, Chase, Side, Noun, Thus. Or you put them in the stacks of 10. And so I learned how to count to 10 in Ulu. Now when Khalifatul heard that, he was, it was very much smiles on his face. Why? I went out and got something to do. And that's what he wanted to do. Okay, now let's get back to the brain thing now. I strayed away from it. For example, if a person, and that when I began to teaching the class, I was going to teach the class about how to take exercises to make their mind strong, alert. Oh, they're so enthused, they want to learn those lessons. But then when I was also interested in healing, healing is an art. Something you can learn, and it's an art that you can only do and practice on it dealing with the nervous system. For example, if a person has something in their blood, syphilis in their blood, you can't heal that. But if a person has a weak leg and can't stand up, you can do something to make that leg strong with your mind. But that is exercise you must do to be able to do it, because that's dealing with the nervous system. So when I'm going to teach this class, I'm talking, they're talking, so should I make this short?
Please.
Should I make this conversation short, or should I try to finish?
Excuse me.
All right, we should finish one at a time, finish yours, so I can finish mine. So when I told okay that there's certain exercise that you have to do to make the mind strong. I said, okay, Brother Rashid, come on, brother, teach us. I said, no, it's a waste of time, because number one, with a strong mind, you won't be able to do nothing but fool the people with a strong mind. I said, no. We're going to teach you. I said, it's a worthless thing to do. That's okay, that's what, just teach us. They only want to know what? How to use their mind to do this healing business and make certain objects do this and do that, just with the mind. Okay. So after that, then I was told by the Khalifatul, see, it's a worthless act. Don't involve yourself in it. So then I had opportunity to go with him on many occasions. For example, I arranged to have a meeting with one person who was a writer for the Saturday Evening Post. He, along with some French girl, some Indonesian girl, and some German man. So I met them in the bazaar, and I told them they should come to meet my leader, which they agreed to do, so we had dinner. And I told Khalifatul that these are Western people. And that time he had gout very bad. He was in the bed. He said he couldn't get up. The gout was so strong that he couldn't walk. He was in the bed. I said, but you're in the bed with your shell bars on, and the Western people think these are pajamas. So now when I bring these people here, I'm talking to the Khalifatul Masih now. When I bring these people in here, they're going to think that you in the bed with your pajamas on with a turban on. Now, two of them are ladies, and you are in the bed in your pajamas. So I would suggest to you that you should let the ladies take the dinner with your wives. And the men should eat by the bedside. He said, okay, we do it that way. So this way, I was able to have that type of connection with him, to be so frank with him. Now, he gave me I had a lesson at his bedside, when he was sick, at the bedside. Now, one of the lessons he gave me, then he gave me examination for that lesson. So one of the questions in that examination was that, give me an explanation of Allah, define Allah. That was the question. So I wrote down one answer that I had learned from the missionaries. So he says to me that look as though you know, but it appears also that you have learned something from these missionaries, and you have not memorized nothing that I taught you. So now for me to teach you, the first thing I got to do is to unteach you. Then I can teach you. Okay. So then that was a lesson that I had, so he gave me lessons every day. And he was such a person that he did not tolerate anything that seemed to have any hindrance to the Jamaat's progress. The captain of the guards that was with him had made a statement, just talking, whatever he's talking, he said he was a communist. Why he was a communist? Because communist with the Communist Manifesto that you give the people food and this and that, and so he was a communist. Now this conversation was reported to the Khalifatul Sahib, and he announced right away, within that same day, that this captain who had said he was communist, a believer cannot be a disbeliever. They cannot be the same. By his own admission that he is a communist, so he cannot be an Ahmadi. So I'm telling him to pack up and go. And send him away. And we were traveling, and we was in Kuwait at the time. So he should pack up his belongings because no more Ahmadi, and he should go. He was just that type of person. Because why? It was from the Jamaat that these things can happen. That once that, and I had an opportunity that whenever he would go, he would let me know he was going, so I would just go in the car with him, he and his wife in the back seat of big old Buick, he and his wife in the back seat, and I'm in the back seat. The three of us in the back seat. Now once there was some ladies came to him and asked him that, Azul, we heard that you have a young man here from America, you have a young man here from Germany. So we've never met a German man, we've never met an American man. So we like to see what they look like. So then he told us this, me and the German, that to come over for tea, and the ladies would be behind the further wall, and they would see what a German and American look like. So when we went there, so the next day he just laughed. He said the ladies, the people that they saw you, and they say, we don't see no American, we don't see no German. We saw a Punjabi and a Pathan. A Pathan, they wear them old khaki clothes, and I got pocket shabbat for me on. They're like a Punjabi. So we saw a Punjabi and a Pathan. We didn't see American and German. So, but he was such a person with such practical ways. I mean, when he had difficulties, I mean, you could never judge that he was discussing with you some difficulties. Once that they had during the riots there, so they were. He sent for me. I went to see him in those days. So he told me that if something is going on, and he thinks that because of the mail that he's getting, no one's writing from America, no one's sending any mail. So he assumed that someone is giving some false information. So he told me he wanted me to go to Lahore and meet with the American Consul General to see what I could learn. Okay. So that night, I was to go the next day. I had a dream. In this dream, I saw myself in a very smoky room. I mean, just choking from smoke. And in that, I'm stomping rats, running around, and I just stomping with my feet, and they buzz open, and the intestine buzz open. Such a horrible sight. I told that dream to Mirza Bashir Ahmad, the brother of people to Masih. He said, Rashid said, when are you going to Lahore to meet the consul general? I told him, oh, I was going in the morning. He said, no, don't go. Take a couple of days before you go. Okay. So I didn't go the next day. I took it 2 or 3 days, and then I went. When I went, I met with the American Consul General. He gave me more than an hour of time, and we discussed the political situation from that Pakistan. And then he told me that we thought that your organization was being persecuted because you believed that you have, because they was telling them in the office that the Ahmadis was the cause of the riots. He said, but now we've heard from you, so now we think that was just something propaganda against your organization. So I came back and reported to people to see. He was very pleased. Number one, that we did find out that they had this person in the Consul General's office was giving faulty information.